was soaked from head to toe and the freezing wind cut through my body. To survive, I pulled out my knife and split a bullet in half. I hoped the powder inside could help me start a fire. But when the shell opened, only a few drops of river water spilled out. My whole body shook from the cold as I stared at it. I grabbed another bullet and tried again. I knew if the rest were soaked the same way, my life would end right here. Thankfully, this round was still dry. I carefully poured the gunpowder onto a small wooden stump. The air was nearly 20 degrees below zero and the cold felt unbearable. I snapped several dry twigs into short pieces. Then I placed them beside the pile of powder. After that, I picked up another bullet. Holding the knife tightly, I began striking the base of the cartridge again and again. But my hands were shaking too badly to focus. I could barely control the blade. I realized that if I failed, I would freeze to death within minutes. I forced myself to calm down and steady my breathing. I fixed the bullet in place. Then I pressed the tip of the knife against the bottom of the shell. I grabbed a rock and began pounding the back of the blade. After several hard strikes, the spark finally caught the powder. A tiny flame appeared and began to grow. The fire that could save my life was finally burning. But my danger was far from over. The hunters chasing me were still out there somewhere. I had to eliminate every risk before they reached me. As the fire grew stronger, I stripped off my soaked shirt. My arm throbbed where the bullet had hit me earlier. I grabbed a bottle of liquor and took a long swallow. Then I poured the rest directly over the wound. The moment the alcohol touched the torn flesh, I screamed from the burning pain. I shoved a sock into my mouth so I would not shout too loudly. Then I picked up the knife from the ground. I wiped the blade against my pants to clean it. After forcing myself to make the decision, I pushed the tip of the knife into the wound. I dug around the torn muscle while groaning in pain. After a brutal struggle, the bullet finally came out of my arm. But that was only the first step. To stop the wound from getting infected, I placed the knife into the fire. When the blade turned red hot, I pressed it against the wound. The smell of burning flesh filled the cold air. At the same time, the bounty hunters behind me were getting closer. Some instinct told me they were already near. I knew I had stayed in this place too long. To confuse their tracking, I circled the area in a wide loop. Using a tree branch, I wiped away every footprint from my real path. But while doing it, I suddenly realized how foolish that plan was. Sooner or later, they would still find me. If I wanted to escape them forever, I needed a better strategy. I looked at the tall trees behind me. A dangerous idea slowly formed in my mind. Meanwhile, the bounty hunters had already discovered the smoke from my fire. To find me faster, they decided to split up and search the forest. None of them realized that what waited ahead was a nightmare.